No, not yet. Look, I can teach all the concepts at a time, but if we are a beginner, so the actual thing is that if we are a beginner and we will just learn all the concepts at a time, so it will be quite confusing and we can forget this at later some point of time. So I don't want that. So according to our program, so we have just written basic program, right? So on the basics of that, I have just explained some basic about functions. In the same way, I'll just explain some basics of operators, so that meanwhile we can learn each and everything with our current understanding level.
Okay, got any right.
Okay, so what are operators in C++? Operators are first of all symbols. In mathematics, we have seen so many symbols like plus, minus, multiplication, division, modulus, right? We have seen these symbols in mathematics as well. So in the same way, in our programming language, these symbols have a different name, which is operators. In mathematics, we use these symbols as a calculation part, right? In our calculation part, we do use these kind of symbols for addition, multiplication, subtraction. So in programming language, these symbols are termed as operators that perform operations on variables. So we already have seen what a variables are and values. For example, plus is an operator used for addition, while minus is an operator used for subtraction. So why do we use operators? So let's say I want to create a function to add two numbers, right? And in programming language, we need to define each and every step. We need to define each and every instructions to the computer, right? So I will just declare two variables, int a, int b. On that variables I will write a plus b, right? So this a and this b is termed as operands, and this symbol is termed as operators. What are operands? The variables on which we are performing the function, on which we are performing this calculation. So a plus b, so this a plus b is also termed as variables, right? Two different variables, but both at the same time we can define these as operands. We term these operands, and the symbol which is present here is termed as operators. So these are the operators, basic operators, which are present in C++ as well, to perform our some basic calculations. So arithmetic operators. Then we have assignment operators. Arithmetic operation. Arithmetic, we have just seen plus, minus, multiplication, division, modulus. These are called as arithmetic operators. Look, we have so many symbols present in our keyboard, right? So these symbols are termed as operators, and based on some specific task, based on some specific functions they do, we have defined them. So for arithmetic operators, we you can think of this as a in mathematics, for arithmetic calculation we use these basic symbols, right? So in programming language we term these symbols as arithmetic operators. What is assignment operator? We have used this one. Have you noticed this equal sign?
Yes.
We whenever we declare some variables, let's say int a is equals to 5, what do we have used there? This is a data type, this is a variable name, this is the value what we want to assign. But when this equal to sign is present there, the compiler will understand, okay, so this 5 is needed to be stored inside this a, right? So whenever this assignment operator will be there, only then the compiler can understand there will be a memory location called a, and I need to store this 5 inside this a. So this is what assignment operator. Then we have relational operators. We have used this one as well in our previous programs. Relational, do you remember the relational expressions? We have learned only three of them. The integral expression, the float expression, and the relational expressions. Remember, guys? I think no. So we have two output of this relational expression, whether true or false, right? So we have used some symbols like greater than, less than, right? We have used some kind of things, just like in our for loop we have used a, if a is less than or equals to 5, this one. So this is what we called as relational operator, and this is what we called as assignment operator. So both the operators are used here. So we already have used these all of things, but we haven't learned about this. So we are going to look at this. So we have logical operators. We are going to look one by one all of them. Then bitwise operators, then scope resolution operator, and then line feed operator. This scope resolution operator I will tell you when the OOPS concept will be covered, because it cannot be easy to understand for now. And this one as well, these three of them. When we have learned about some classes and objects, then it will be easy for us to understand these three of them. Okay, so we have again this one. Okay, C++ arithmetic operators. Arithmetic operators are used to perform arithmetic operations. Arithmetic means basic functions, basic calculation on variables on and data. So we can something like this, 5 plus 6 and a plus 5. So here we have used variables, and here we have used values, direct values, right? So we can apply these operators on both the cases. Here the plus operator is used to add two variables and a and b. Similarly, there are two various other arithmetic operators in C++. What are those? So we have a list of arithmetic operators here. So first of all, the addition operator. We already have seen of this, right? And we have used this one as well in our add function previously, right? So this is a kind of what, arithmetic operators. So this is called as addition operator. Then we have subtraction for this symbol, subtraction, then multiplication, division, and finally the modulus operator. So I think I already have explained what the difference between division and modulus operation. Yeah, so you both remember this, right? So we can continue. Alright, so nothing more than this arithmetic operators. We have just this kind of list in our arithmetic operators. What we have next? Assignment operators. In C++, assignment operators are used to assign values to variables, right? Assign values to variables. If I say int a is equals to 5, then it is going to assign this 5 value inside this a variable. So this assignment operator is used to assign values, whereas double equal to is used for what purpose? To check for equal. Let's say I will say a is equals to b. What does mean? If a value is equals to b, let's say a value is 5 and b value is also 5, so I will write a equals to b, then this expression is going to return true. If let's suppose b value is 6 and then I will write a equals to b, then it is going to return false, right? So double equal to used in our condition expressions, right? But only a single equal is used to assign values. Alright. So here we have seen a equals to 5. Assign 5 to a. And now we have some operators. Other operators also there, not only equal to. There are also much more symbols which are present in assignment operator. So we are going to have a one by one explanation. So we already have seen this equal to, right? Now plus equal to, what does this mean? Plus and equal. It can be something like this: a is equals to a plus b. Let's say I want to write a is equals 5 is equals to 5 plus 10. So we can see that this 5 is same as this one. Both the values are same. So instead of writing this 5 and 5 again two times, what I can do is 5 plus equals to 10, which basically means that this 5 is going to be summed by 5 1 again. This 5 is going to be sum 5 plus 5, and then it is going to give the value addition value of sum. So this is equivalent to this one. Instead of writing this 5 two times, I can just simply write 5 plus equals to 10, which basically means this 5 is again going to add 5 and then 10. So this is we termed as sort expression. Just in case of grammar, we have different symbols to emphasize our feelings. Let's say, oh wow, you are just great, so I will just apply this exclamation mark, right? If I have something questions, then I will apply this question mark, right? So in the same way, these are called as sort expressions. Instead of writing this a is equals to a plus b, I can sort the expression using this a is equals a plus equals to b. I can write the both. Just in the same case, I is equals to I plus 1. What I can do? I plus plus and I plus equals to 1. This is same as this one, right? So I can use both the expressions. Alright, then we have minus equals to. When we have something like this, a is equals to a minus b. But remember, we should have both the values same, a. If something is a is equals to b plus c, we cannot write something like this, a plus c. Because here a and b is different, right? So we should have the condition, only condition we should have is that this a is should be a, this one should be repeated two times. Only then we can apply this sort expressions. Then we have same for multiplication. If we have something like this, then we can sort this expression by this one. For the same division, for the same modulus. So these are called as assignment operators. So we have this equal everywhere, you can see that. So this is what we assignment operator. We can combine this assignment operator with arithmetic operator to sort our expressions. Okay. Relational operators. So we have already learned about relational expressions. So in the same way, a relational operator is used to check the relationship between two operands. So I already have explained this operands, right? So what the operands? We have in middle some operators, and whatever the values, these are termed as what? Operand. So here a and b are termed as operands. So relational operator is used to check the relationship. Like if I have a relationship with you, I am your teacher and you are my student. In the same way, if a and b has some relation, if a is greater than b, or b is greater than a, so we are just have applying some conditions. So these relational operators are used in is used to check the relationship between two operands. So A is greater than B. We are testing a condition here, that is A is greater than B, or not. If it is greater than B, then it is going to return what? True. If it is not, then it is going to return false. So this all is termed as expression. But we have how we write an expression using different things. So we have used two things here. First, the variables, and the second, operator. So this operator is called as relational operator, and these variables are termed as operands, and in the both in combined we termed it as a relational expression. Okay, so we have a list of operators with meaning and example. So equal equals to, these are all under relational operators. Equal equals to, I already have explained. Where do we use this? To check for equal to, right? Is equals to. If I write something 3 equals to 5, which give us what? False, because obviously 3 is not equals to 5. So it is going to return what? False. So this equals to is used to check for equal. Check for equal. If it is equal, then it is going to return true. If it is not, then it is going to return false. Then the next we have not equal to. This is termed as not equal to. This exclamation mark and this equal to is pronunciated as not equal to. This is the symbol of not. This is the symbol of not. Yes. I'll surely give you. Yeah, sure. I'll surely give this PDF format. Okay, so this one is termed as not equal to. It checks for not equal to. This checks for equal to. If it is equal, then it is going to return true. If it is not equal, then it is going to return true. Let's say I will write 3 is not equals to 3. What does this give? True or false? False, because 3 is equals to 3, right? So here in this case 3 is not equals to 5. Yes, this is true, so give us true as a result. So this is our expression, and in our expression we have used this operator. This is termed as not equal to operator. Next we have greater than. We already have used these things, right? We haven't used this not equal, but this one has been used in our for loop. So greater than, for our here we have tested for 3 is greater than 5. No, it is not. So it is going to return false. Then we have second, this less than. If 3 is less than 5, yes it is. So it is going to return us true, not false. So by mistake. Then we have greater than or equal to. This is termed as greater than or equal to. Let's say 3 is greater than or equals to 5. No, it is not. But 5 is less than or equals to 5. If one of the things is true, then it is going to return true. 5 is not less than 5. This is false. But 5 is equals to 5, right? So we have used two operators here. Greater than or equal to. So 5 is greater than or equal to 5. It is surely not greater than, but it is equals to 5, right? So it is going to return true. Next we have same equal to, greater than equal to. Then we have same as greater than equal to with less than or equals to. 3 is less than or equals to 3. It is not less than, but it is equal. So if one of the condition is true, it is going to return true. let's say 2 is less than or equals to 3, what does it will return? True, because true 2 is not less, 2 is not equals to 3, but it is less than 3. So one of the condition is true, that's why it will return true. Alright, so we have learned about relational operators as well. Now the logical operators. Logical operators are used to check whether an expression is true or false. If the expression is true, it returns 1, whereas if the expression is false, it returns 0. So just in the case we have learned about for loop, if I will write something, if I is less than or equals to 5, so this is our expression, right? And if it is less than, then it is going to return true, otherwise it is going to return false, right? But this is the case with our expression. But in our logical operator, it is not going to return true or false. Instead of that, it is going to return 1 or 0. 1 if it is true, 0 if it is false. How? Let's see. So we have AND operator. This is termed as AND operator. This is pronunciated as AND operator. When do we use this condition or this kind of operators?
When you have one or more conditions.
Yes, when we have one or more condition. Let's say, take an example of our previous one, our restaurant. I go to only those restaurants which are vegetarian as well as provide good foods or tasty food, you can say. So I apply both the conditions. If both the conditions are true, only then I will enter inside that restaurant. Right? So we have two conditions here. And both should be what? True and true. Only then I will enter inside this restaurant. So in this kind of situation, what we can do? We can have two if statement. If restaurant is vegetarian, okay, then again I will test if restaurant food is tasty, then I will enter inside restaurant, right? So we have two conditions, and for two conditions I have used two if statement. But this line of code can be reduced to only one if statement. How? If we have two conditions and more than two conditions, I can just simply apply this AND operator. So I will write something like this. Restaurant is vegetarian. If it is going to return 1, it is going to not return true or false. It is going to return 1 for true. And the food should be tasty. Now I can enter inside the restaurant. So we have two conditions in the same if block. I do not need to write the two different if statements or two different conditions. I can apply this AND operator. So this is what, if it is going to return 1 or 1, which basically means true and true, then only it is going to enter inside the restaurant. I can apply more than two conditions using the same AND operator. Let's say I want to check if restaurant is near my house plus which basically means and it should be vegetarian and it should have tasty food. So I have three conditions applied in the same if block. Previously what I need to do? I need to have three different if statements, right? One by one. but this AND operator is going to reduce the line of code, line of conditions in only one. Now the question arises, where do we use this if? I mean this AND operator. If we have something which is should be always return true, like in the case of my restaurant example, I cannot compromise any one of them. I need to have 3 to be true, only then I will enter. So if this kind of situations we have arises, then we are going to use this AND operator. And if 3 of the conditions became true, and it is going to return what? 1. So now it is going to insert inside the restaurant, only then. Okay, so it is also termed as logical AND operator. We are going to see an example of a greater number.
Please, I'm requesting you to repeat that statement. I've not gotten it clearly, kindly. Logical and
Okay, let's take a short example of then. Let's say I need to write a program to find greater number among 3 numbers. Let's say I have 5, 9, 3. I need to find the greater number in these numbers. How can I write the program? Let's go to our simple if statement first. I need to check this 5 if it is greater than or equals to 9, and if it is greater than or equals to 3, then it is the greatest one, right? But this is not the case. We can clearly see this. So this 5 is not the greatest one. Now let's take the example of 9. If 9 is greater than 5 and 9 should be greater than 3, then only it is the greatest number, right? So this time it's right, but I need to, let's take example of 3. 3 should be greater than 5 and 3 should be greater than 9. Then only 3 is greatest number. This is how as a human we recognize the number, which one is greatest, right? We take each number one by one and we compare it with the rest of the numbers. If it is greater all of them, then it is the greatest one. If it is not, I will skip this. Now I will take another number. If it is greater than other 2 numbers, then it is greatest number, right? So we are going to write the program for this. If 3 is what we have 5 before, right? If 5 is greater than what we say 3 and 5 is greater than 9, only then I can say 5 is greatest number. Otherwise I need to check for another number, and here I need to apply else if. Why? Because any one of the condition is true, then that means that is the greatest number. So I don't want to bother any other condition to check. Now the next one, 9 is greater than 5 and 9 is greater than 3. Only then I can say that this 9 is greatest number. Again else if 3 is greater than 5 and 3 is greater than 9, only I can say this 3 is greatest number, right? So here we can clearly see why we have used this AND logical AND operator. We need to be very sure that this 5 should be greater than 3 as well as greater than 9. We need to make sure that both the conditions should be true, only then this is the greatest number.
okay.
So where do we use this logical AND? we are going to develop some small programs based on these logical operators, because it is quite easy and understand. True only if all the operands are true. Okay, so if the both the statements, or let's say three statements are there with the help of and logical and, so both three operators should be true, only then the statements inside this block are going to be executed. Okay, now we have or operator, logical or. What or means basically? Let's say, what does this or define actually? Let's say I want to eat something. I can eat pizza, or I can eat, you can say, what else I want? Yeah, burger. Okay, so in or statement I can choose any one of them. Whichever is available, I'm good to go for it. But in and case, I want to eat pizza and burger too. So in and case, I need both of them should be there, right? But in or case, if any one of them are present, then I can eat, right? So this is what in our or operator. If one of the condition is true, then this statement is going to run. If any one of them, let's say we have three statements. Just in the case of restaurant, if restaurant is near my house, or it is vegetarian, or it has tasty food. If I apply or instead of and, then what I'll go for? If it is, let's say this is a restaurant, it is not near my house, so it is going to return what? False, right? But it is a vegetarian restaurant, so it is going to return true. But it doesn't have tasty food too, so it is going to return what? False. So you can see that we have two statements, two expressions which is going to return false, but only one statement expression is going to return true. If any one of them is true, then I'll go inside this restaurant. But in my previous case, this these all expressions should be true, only then I will insert inside the restaurant. Then instead of or, I will apply logical and. So it depends on the requirement. If I am looking for something, any one of these things, then I will apply or. If a person strictly looking for all of these should be there, then I will apply logical or, logical and, I'm sorry, right? So based on our requirement, we are going to apply this logical and logical or. So true if at least one of the operands is true. Any one of the expression is true, then it is going to true. Okay. Now we already have this one, logical not. I can apply this logical not in many of the cases, like not equals to, right? We have just used this one. So we can apply this not logical operator in many with the combination. So true only if the operand is false. Let's say if I have a condition something expression and it is going to return true, so I will just simply apply not operator. So it will just return the opposite of that. If it is true, then it is going to return what? False. If I will apply something like false, then what is the opposite of if? It is true, so it is going to return true. Let's say only two possibilities are there, true or false. So if some expression, let's say 3 is greater than 5, what is going to it return? It is going to return false. But if I apply exclamation mark or the logical not, it is now going to return true. Previously it was false, but after reversing it, it is going to return what? True. So it just reverse the value. If it is false, it is going to return true. If it is true, then it will just reverse the result.
Question.
Sorry?
Question.
Yes, please.
When you use the logical not in the equal sign, like not equal, we put the exclamation point right before the equal sign. But when you use it in the greater than sign, we put it before the variable.
No, it should be there. We are going to have a separate program for that. We just apply this is also operator, right?
Yes.
And this operator can only be used with operands and with other operators. So we need to have this type of combination should be there. So if 3 is greater than or less than equals to 5, I need to write something like this. Okay, what is resolution operator? All right. Okay. Let's say this is my main class. And in our previous class, we have learned something like this. Int I is equals to 10. And inside this for loop, I will also explain int I is equals to 5. Let's say our other things are right there. Now, let's say inside this, if I will write cout I, what the value is going to print?
5.
It is going to consider this I, right? Because in this block, this is the nearest one. This is the block nearest one, right? So it is going to output 5. But what will I do if I want to print not this I value, this I value? Instead of this one, I want to print the value of this I. So how you will define that? Okay, this is not this one I, this is this one I. Let's say in your home, there were two person and both has the name Ram. One is you can say a left-handed guy and other is a right-handed guy. Okay, so there is a difference between these two Ram, right? So whenever I will tell Ram come here, so both the Ram will ask who will come. So I will just say okay, left-handed Ram, please come here. So he will just come, right? So there is a distinct between these two Ram, right? In the same way, here we have two variables with the same name I, but obviously they are different, not the same one. There will be two memory locations for each one of them. There will be two memory locations for each one of them. One I has stored 10 and one I has stored 5, right? So how do I define that, okay, you should not come, this I should come here? So there what we use this scope resolution operator. We use this scope resolution operator to define that which I want. So we are going to see in real time example, and we can only see when we have learned about classes and objects. That will be more easy for us at that point of time. But for now, you can think of this only as that if we want to distinct the variable's name, that which one I want, this I or this I, if I will simply write this I, so this I is going to be considered this one only, right? Because it is the nearest one. But let's say if I want this one, then I need to use this scope resolution operator. So in practical, we are going to write a program tomorrow, and we are going to use each one of the operators.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so yeah, thank you for today's class,
Thank you, ma'am. Thank
Thank you,
you.
ma'am.
and I'll send a,
Bye bye.
yeah, I'll
Good night,
send a,
everyone.
good night.
Okay.